So, former Concord dev says that it was gut-wrenching to see our project fail, but urges players not to judge Marathon too soon. To call this game a failure before it's even out is wild to me. Really? Well, it wasn't wild with Concord, it was fucking accurate. So, it's actually, like, I think that it's really funny how all of these developers and people want to act like it's not fucking obvious when a game is going to die. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, people were right about, okay, let's just make a list. Notepad, okay, games people were right about. Okay, number 1, Concord. Concord number 2, Assassin's Creed, Shadows, and, Veilguard. South of Midnight, Forspoken, okay, let's see here, Starfield, Avowed, okay, let's see here, Lost Records, okay, Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws, Dustborn, like, I mean, nobody cared about that game to begin with, but, like, sure, Flintlock, Unknown 9, living up to its name. People don't even know what game that is. So, how is it that gamers don't, like, how is it that every time that the internet of capital G gamers decides that a game is going to be garbage, it's garbage? Isn't that interesting? How every single time that one of these games comes out, and people say it's going to be bad, it's bad every single time. You have like a 100% success ratio, and the only game on this list is maybe Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Maybe this one wasn't as big of a failure, but I think it was, especially considering what their projections, I'm assuming, were. Here's the thing. We could keep going. Urges players to call this game a failure before it's out is wild to me. Well, welcome to the fucking jungle, bitch. There's precedent for this, and it sure seems like there's a 100% hit rate. I'm sorry. Really? What are we talking about? Let's take a look at the art. Let's see what they said. And so I replied to this. I said, some games deserve to be aborted. Concord is the reason why I'm pro-choice. Marathon looks okay, but the characters look over-designed and are not visually appealing. That's it. And so I didn't even read any of these comments or anything like that. Game with no dedicated campaign should be DOA. Base take Asmongold as usual. Everybody knows that. We're getting pre-banned from Marathon subreddit. I wonder if they'll ever listen to the main player base of these games. What is this here? To me, they look trans too, which is an instant turnoff. If you cannot immediately tell the gender of a character, put the character in the garbage and try again. That's my opinion. If you can't immediately tell. Now, there are, like, I can think of one exception. I thought this was a girl. I did. I thought I had to play as a girl. But it turns out it wasn't a girl, but I was like, bro, it might be a girl. But it's a femboy, which is okay, right? Because but it's a JRPG. So you've got, like, a special set of rules, okay? But anyway, former Concord dev says it was gut-wrenching for us to see our project fail, but urges players not to judge Marathon too soon. To call this game a failure before it's even out is wild to me. It's wild to you. Well, hey, let's go ahead. This is like an investor in Enron, SBF. No, what's the company that he did? I forgot even what the company was called. It's like, this is like you've invested in Enron, Theranos, FTX, and like this is like an investor who's telling you, wait a minute, guys, no, this one's not a scam. Come on. Yeah, it's insane. A gameplay of Bungie's extraction shooter was excitement for a non-negligible number of gamers who have jumped into the conversation to make unflattering comparisons to Concord. Spurred by these reactions, a former Concord developer is taken to Reddit. Let's take a look at the Reddit post. Hey all, former Firewalk Studios dev here. I've been a long-time lurker for many years and I rarely post anything. But after reading the comments about Marathon being Concord 2.0 on Reddit, YouTube, and Twitch, I just wanted to share a little insight into what a 40-year-old man is feeling after dedicating a large portion to his life for making video games. For the past, well, I mean, he dedicated the last 7 years of his life to comedy, but other than that, yeah, maybe he made another game before that as well. For the past 17 years, I've been part of some great projects and worked on some talented people. Many players knew about Concord and what happened with the project. Concord failed to inspire players and the messages was heard loud and clear. Well, apparently not by Bungie. It was gut-wrenching to watch our project fail and be the laughingstock of many online. Well, yeah, I bet it was. Listen, we all know this, but I'll say it again. I am the most empathetic streamer. So I can understand the way he would feel. I bet it sucked. I do. I bet it sucked to have everybody making fun of you. I could easily see that. It makes a lot of sense. Most humble? Yeah, but I'm not talking about that right now. I can't bring it up all the time because, you know, I am, yeah, I mean, kind of like, you know, just how it is. What the fuck are these studios doing? I don't know. But anyway, so I can see that. I understand it. I have learned that failure is what drives me to succeed. Well, then why are you driving Bungie to fail? No one feels as bad as the people who put their time on the line hoping that it will entertain the masses of gamers around the globe. I'm not asking for pity or even sympathy because after all, the name of the game, you win or lose, the margin of success is very thin. I took a chance and I lost. You didn't take a chance. You did not take a chance. You didn't listen to what gamers wanted. You actively went against it. You pushed narratives in games that didn't resonate with your core audience. You did this knowingly. If you ask this guy, who the fuck do you think your audience is? And if he thinks that it's this modern audience type of thing, no, you didn't take a chance. Bro, it's insane. Like, this isn't a chance. You just decided to lose. Us gamers are tired of this. Well, gamers have risen up. The prophecy has been fulfilled. The idols are being destroyed, and a new world is being made anew. The Concords of yesterday are history. Yeah, the beacons are lit. The beacons have been lit. Okay, people are tired of this shit, and some of you probably smell blood in the water. Yes. And you probably want to roast me for no longer lurking and exposing myself. No, you made a shitty game. You made a mistake. It's okay. Mistakes happen. Learn from it. That's what everybody makes mistakes. I don't want to roast this guy massively. A little bit I do. But massively, I'm not trying to roast this guy. Mistakes happen. You fucked up. But man, you really fucked up, didn't you? And the worst part about you fucking up is you don't even understand how you fucked up. That's the problem. It's what I said earlier. If you can't figure out why you failed, you can never succeed. Because you can never reverse engineer why it is that things didn't go right. Why did you put ugly fat women in the game? What were you thinking? Are you retarded? Nobody wants to be that. Ugly fat women don't want to be that. That's why they use anime profile pictures instead of their face. It's not even a question. Well, what are we talking about? How's this even a conversation? But you can't say that. You can't say that. And you can't say that because you're still complicit in a lie. I hope you don't. Most people don't create these projects and work very hard to be the next big thing. Seeing the faces of the developers' Bungie stream gave me hope and excitement for what's to come on Marathon. I commend them for taking a chance and trying something foreign to them that isn't proven nor guaranteed to succeed. Yes, because Bungie has never made a futuristic fantasy shooter with laser guns and different planets. This is actually the first game like that they've ever made. So it's a new horizon for them. You know, anything goes, right? Yeah, who knows? Anyway, it takes a lot of courage. TLDR, I worked on Concord and I did my best. We came out short. Please don't punish others for our mistakes. We're not punishing others for your mistakes. We're recognizing the pattern. We're all human beings who are trying to create something special. Well, then do a better job. Marathon is no different. Be kind and cool as video games are meant to be fun. You recognize how nothing that this person did was address any of the criticism that people had, or talk about why it was wrong or not wrong. And the reason why is because in the games industry, this problem is the emperor's new clothes. Everybody knows that people don't want characters that look like this and designs that are in this type of perspective or narratives like this put in the game. But nobody in the development community, nobody in the gaming audience, or sorry, the gaming professional space can address this because it's career suicide. And I want to promise you that if you can't address this, it will be career suicide because gamers will kill your game every single time. And here's the list. You want to join the graveyard? Then talk around the problem. I hope you do. It's better content for me. So only the games that you approve? Yes. I've been trying to become, get to Trump and tell him that we need a video game czar. If I become the video game czar, there will never be another fat woman in a video game ever again. There will never be a girl with a cup size under double D ever again. I will not let you down. We need small tits? Okay. Okay, but they have to be sexualized in another way. That's okay. No, you're right. There are guys that like that, and that's okay, but then it has to be something different. So I can take care of this. I'll deal with it myself. We've seen good tits, small tits, big tits is fine. You just got to be hot. Exactly. Anyway, so here's the point. If you want to join the graveyard of games, pretend like you don't know what the problem is. It's worked great. It's worked really well, right? Because every single video game like this that's come out has been an absolute failure. And so if you keep wanting to talk around it, that's it. I appreciate the write-up. I'm sure you did the best with what you were directed to create. I didn't want to be that dev calling attention to myself as I have a horse in the race, but to call this game a failure before it's even out is wild to me. Well, people called Concord a fail. Like, every single one of these games were called failures before they came out, and every single one of these games people were right about. When was the last time that a game came out and the collective internet didn't think that it was going to be garbage, and it turned out to be good? When did that happen? Silent Hill? I think that's a good example, actually. Resident Evil Village? No, as soon as I saw the trailer for that game with that tall lady with the big boobs, I immediately thought the game was great. I did. I thought it was a great... I never played the game, but I think it's probably a great game. Yeah, I feel like it probably one of the best games, if anything. I really hope there's no one too uncivil in these comics because you worked on Concord. Yeah, for sure. It always makes me shake my head when looking at gaming discourse online is the way that people think that somehow devs are part of some grand conspiracy to intentionally make an unfun experience. Well, somebody's got to be responsible, and if you work on something, people are going to blame you for it. Imagine that. I don't know what you want me to say. So anyway, thank you for the dev insight. For the little I played at Concord, I liked it. Yeah, but it wasn't enough. And let's see here. Thank you so much for giving us Concord. I agree. Thank you so much for giving us Concord. I got so much out of that game. You have no idea. It was absolutely great for me. Yeah, it was... I probably made more videos. I probably made more money making videos about Concord being bad than Concord made as a game. Like, straight up. I probably made more money than the game did. Somebody says bro's a fucking vulture. Hey, it is what it is, right? And anyway, Concord failed to inspire players. Concord, as you recall, wasn't just a failure. It was a spectacular flameout. It launched to virtually zero interest and was pulled offline less than 2 weeks later. And then Sony decided to pull the plug on Firewalk, to an ugly outcome given that Sony had acquired Firewalk for 2 years earlier. So, anyway, let's see. People clearly expecting the same from Marathon. It's not a massive backlash, but there's a strain of persistent negativity out there, which is what prompted Williams to post this message. And yes, the reason why the message is out there and the reason why people don't like it is because it looks weird. That's the reason why. The game characters look weird, and they look like these... Like, every single fucking American video game has to introduce a bunch of androgynous, weird, gender non-specific characters that nobody wants to be. This is the reality, is that you get all the hoes dressing up for Marvel Rivals, ain't nobody want to look like this bitch. That's a fact. And so at the end, like, and that's free fucking advertising. Literal free real estate. And you don't want to do that. That's your problem. Really? Why the fuck do people want to play characters that they don't even want to be? And you make dudes look like this when they aren't buff? Every guy, like, think about every fantasy story. Aragorn looks like a G. Legolas looks like a G. Gimli is a dwarf warrior. Gandalf looks like a fucking wizard. Kratos looks like a fucking badass. Solid Snake. Bro, they based him off Kurt Russell, who's a G. Bro, Kurt Russell in Escape from New York and Escape from LA. It was so good. It was so good. Like, that was... Dude... Aura, yes, exactly, right? Again, nobody wants to be a fat brony with, you know, cargo shorts and a Cheeto-stained t-shirt. Nobody wants to look like me. Fuck no. If I wanted to look like me, I'd go to a mirror. If I wanted to look at a bunch of ugly people, I'd go to Walmart. If I want to play a fantasy video game, I want to go to a different place. Am I crazy? Really? I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. How does this happen? How did we get here? This is embarrassing that we're even having this conversation. Jesus. Meanwhile, he just called it a failure himself. It was. It was. To call this game a failure before it's even out is wild to me. No, it's not. If something looks like shit, it's probably shit. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. Somebody say, don't judge a book by its cover. I say, if you can't even figure out how to make a good cover, what are the odds that you can write a book? It's one picture. You can't figure that out? But I'm supposed to expect that you can write a whole tapestry of a story? Fuck no. What was the last game that looked like shit but turned out to be great? Schedule 1? No, that's art design. Like, you could say Schedule 1 or Pal World, but what you're talking about is graphical fidelity. I'm not talking about graphical fidelity. Schedule 1 looks really good, it just has low graphical fidelity. That's a different type of situation. And so anyway, Concord dev, yeah, this game is going to crash. Did you guys really think it was a bright idea to get a comment from one of the Concord devs? LMAO, Concord 2. It's objectively a failure before it launches on a few fronts. It's embarrassing, bro. It really is. Like, I just... If we knew go from Concord to here is a failure, yeah, it's just we were right about that pile of shit Concord, and we'll be right again. No, and anybody calling this game a failure in pre-alpha is stupid. No, 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 no. Most people make a decision on a game probably within 20 seconds of looking at the trailer. Most people take that first impression and they say, is this cool or not? And if that first impression is bad, they're not going to play the game because it looks weird. It just looks weird. That's it. It's like, I don't know about this. This looks weird. That matters more than anything. Think about how many people got hoodwinked by Diablo 4 because that first impression was immaculate. It's just common sense. Bro, the beta was so good. Well, so were the trailers, and so was Lilith. And so was, like, all of the visuals for the game. It was fucking amazing. You come out saying the game can be the next big thing, and it's something of a unique genre, you better bring it. Yeah, it's got to be good and interesting. Stop pandering to the modern audience, and there's less gut-wrenching. Yeah. So a Concord developer says, don't write it off yet. If only you had done the same thing, maybe you could have spared yourself. Like, I mean, can you imagine? Like, I would, like, if I was a Concord developer, I would immediately go out, like, in order to keep my resume pure, I would immediately go out and commit a felony to get put in jail, so I could say that the gap in my resume was because I was in jail, and I wouldn't have to explain the fact that I had actually worked on Concord. It's sad. Love your logical reasoning for everything, not feelings. No, the thing is, I try to be fair. I try to be fair. Concord is getting its own animated short. I was gonna make a joke about a very big tragedy, but I guess we don't need to do that. Anyway, but yeah, no, I'll be excited to see that. And anyway, short-lived, yeah, definitely. Bungie sees Concord dev speaking out, like Germany watching the Japanese burn Pearl Harbor. Yeah, it's just like, it's just, there's no, like, that's the last person you should listen to. Like, if a Concord developer thinks that your game isn't looking bad, then you should be absolutely terrified. You should be terrified. Wait, oh my god, that's like the kiss of death. Wait, a Concord dev says this won't be bad? Shut it down.